Um, one reason why I mess with Andrea is because I don't see Andrea fall in love with some loser dude, letting him nut in her, and her having a baby, and her run around being a single mother. She, even though, regardless of what you think she believes in, she ain't with that shit, right? So I ain't got no problem with what she's saying, because in her mind, she's like, I'm not gonna do all this shit like these other women. See, the good girls, the idealistic girls like Lady Di, they're the dangerous ones, because they are usually so in love with being in love, so in love with having a baby, where they turn around and be like, oops, I'm pregnant. And the dude is like, whoa, what you gonna do about it? Well, I'm keeping my baby. And it turns into the same old dumb shit. Andrea most likely ain't gonna be that person because of her belief system. If she does have a baby, it's gonna be specifically because she's ready. And if she wants to tether herself to somebody, that's when she was gonna do it. So even though I don't agree with what she be saying, at least I can see, one, she ain't got no kids, so she ain't doing nothing wrong. Jasmine, she ain't got no kids, she ain't doing nothing wrong. So all I'm saying is, just keep in mind that y'all can get mad at these women all y'all want to, but they're not single mothers like the rest of y'all asses. So for y'all beat them
Mr.
up.
Let Go,
Mr. Let
I
Go,
gotta
what's
ask
the
you
main
one
reason
question.
you mess with Andrea?
One question. Let Go.
Hold
One
on.
question. Let Go. Let me ask you this. Let
Go
Go.
ahead.
If you were wife hunting, right? Which
If I was
type
what?
of a woman would you pick? If you were wife hunting, right?
Mhm.
Would you be more likely to choose a Lady Di or or Andrea? Which one?
Lady Di, of course, but that is kind of like not fair, because Lady Di
You said,
is,
of
one,
course.
married. She already knows how to be married, and she was raised to be married. So it doesn't matter about if I'm wife hunting. I'm looking at her herself, not the man, the woman. In her mind, she's not husband hunting, and most importantly, she's not baby hunting. Most of these dysfunctional ass women want a goddamn baby. She don't.
Okay.
Jasmine may, but I know Andrea don't. So my whole thing is, instead of y'all looking at these women like they're this and that, they are not single mothers. So keep in mind, they are better than the rest of y'all asses. So just keep that in mind. Y'all can say what y'all want to say. They better than y'all.
Okay, so this is what I want to say real quick. So I love that women like Andrea and Jasmine, they're not out there trying to just get babies and be single moms. That is a blessing, and that's good. But me, I wasn't raised to be no wife. Number one. Two, I got married when I was ready. But the difference is I was planning. My goals were to be married, not to be like, I'm just gonna put this in the back burner and whenever it comes, it comes. That's a different mindset. Because if I kept that mindset, I don't even think I'll be married right now. Because I'm like, oh, whatever. I don't need that. I got my friends, I got my mom, I got, all this other stuff. So what Andrea is saying sounds nice, right? Realistically, that sound like that's what we should do as women. I could get that because I'm a woman myself. But understanding like how the world works, that doesn't work because that means that yes, you are not going to procreate. Yeah, you're not going to have kids to keep making the world go around. Like it's not going to happen. It's like if you stay in that type of bubble. Not saying you don't want kids, but let's say women like you or that don't want kids, that is not realistic for life. You have to keep creating life. And I'm talking about in a nice
What?
family dynamic, not like you are just having kids and you have a whole bunch of baby daddies. No, you need to have it in that family dynamic and raise productive children. So
Lady Di, why does she have to have a baby?
I didn't
She
say her.
didn't say
I
that.
said she's just one person. One person is not going to hurt the community. I'm saying in a mass. I'm saying in a mass. If everybody thought like that, I'm saying.
I would rather, and this is just me, and I ain't nobody. I would rather women stop having kids instead of having all these fatherless kids. The
I said
world would be a lot better if women just stop having babies altogether until they get their lives together.
I said in
What
a
are you
marriage.
talking about? And
I
that is what, to a certain degree, what she's saying. And
No,
you're against that?
no, I said in a marriage. I didn't say just have kids. I just commended them for not having kids with random men. I said in a marriage, be marriage minded, get married, and have kids, is what I said.
But she don't want to do that?
I think what my question would be, because I heard you mention like, what I said sounds nice, but it doesn't work. My question to you would be, it doesn't work to whom? Because
Thank
for
you.
a person who, and I'm just generally speaking, but just using you as an example, where you're planning, like where that's your plan. Just because that's what you plan to do and you have it does not necessarily mean that in order for me to eventually get married or have a family whenever I choose to, because you've been planning for years, it would disqualify me from having those things. I think what people tend to like assume or speculate is because I'm not married or I don't have kids is because like it's like going to be difficult for me to do that when I decide to say yes. So I think it's one of them things where it's like I'm not married or have kids by choice, but if I wanted to, it'd be fairly easy and fairly simple. I think that we do ourselves a disservice when we talk to one another as women and we try to push this idea that what they're doing does not work because it doesn't fit into this square box of what planning a marriage and a family looks like. I think if more women decided to put themselves first, that they'd be better off in a lot of instances. And for women who are single and choose not to get married for whatever reason, they're also doing it's like we disqualify them from saying that they're doing something useful in society as well. I hate that I hate that we, when it comes to women, we tether success to having a man. And sometimes like there's a quote that just kind of like I started hearing, like sometimes your plan doesn't always have to involve a man. And I think that we need to like hold on to that idea and really take it and run with it so that we can start pursuing our own dreams and our own goals and our own identities before we jump into somebody else's because we were told that was success looks like.
So from my understanding, what you're essentially saying, Andre, is freedom of choice.
Yeah, I'm saying freedom of choice, but I'm also saying as a woman, there's choices that we have that people try to fearmonger us into feeling like we can't pursue. So we have choices, but are we going to choose them because we truly want to, or are we making our decisions based on what people are telling us we should be doing?
Well, I get that. So basically, I would say then in some way, if we're just simply talking about a woman's right to choose whether she wants to be a wife and mother versus a woman that doesn't want to, I believe that both of them, I would agree with you, both of them should be autonomous enough to be able to make that decision for themselves and move accordingly. Outside of that, I don't know what we're arguing here. I would say that what Lady Di was just basically, I think Lady Di was confused on was that she thought what you were saying was that your logic that every woman should adopt how you feel. And what she was essentially saying is if every woman didn't want to have kids or didn't want to get married, then you can't create the next generation. But that's not what you're saying. So yeah, so Lady Di, that's not what she's saying. She's basically saying women should have the right to choose one way or the other, and they shouldn't be influenced or indoctrinated to do so. It should just be their choice, which is fair.